last, Kusagari.
The last time we got our hands on Red Steel 2 was at E3 nearly 9 months ago. The build that Ubisoft had at the show demonstrated the drastic change that it was taking for the sequel to its Wii launch game, and it also showed how it was using the Wii Motion Plus peripheral to make swordplay incredibly intuitive. Well, close to a year later, we've got our hands on a near-final version of Red Steel 2 to prepare for its March release date. If you're worried that the sequel might turn out as crummy as the original, relax. So far, this is high-quality stuff. A few things have changed a bit since the E3 debut, but nothing major. The biggest shift from last year's demo is that the introduction is no longer interactive. Now you're just watching your character get dragged across the desert. This intro sets the stage not just to the story of Red Steel 2, but also its world and style, and how it has absolutely nothing to do with the original Red Steel. This is East meets West stuff, Japanese influences infiltrating a culture of Old West cowboys. Technology is a huge part of this world as well, with widescreen monitors and wireless communicators making their way into the rustic desert towns. In Red Steel 2, you play as a nameless swordsman, the last member of a clan known as the Kusagari. After being dragged through the desert by the Jackal clan, you rush back to find your katana and exact your revenge. As you work your way through the missions, you'll learn more about your clan as well as the Jackals, including a quest for a stolen katana. The gameplay is half shooter and half swordplay, and in this early look you get to see how the two balance each other out. The action takes place through the eyes of your character, so the gameplay is much like a first-person shooter. Aiming and shooting is handled through the pointer function of the Wii Remote. By default, Red Steel 2 employs a lock-on system to keep the action snappy, but this can be tweaked in the game's in-depth options menu. In fact, you have full control over pretty much every aspect of the game's control in the menu system, from the pointer sensitivity to turning speed. Red Steel 2 requires Wii Motion Plus, and the game makes sure you understand the unique controls through a variety of required training levels. Ubisoft told us you can play Red Steel 2 without ever having to draw your gun, and this seems to be true in our early playthrough. There are plenty of opportunities for sword takedowns in the game using slashes and stabs, and the harder you swing, the more devastating the attack. Weaken a bad guy and you'll be faced with motion-controlled finisher moves, which will increase your rewards. Money earned can be used to upgrade your weapons or learn special moves that use button combinations with Wii Motion swipes. Red Steel 2 uses a really cool cel-shaded 3D engine that runs at 60 frames per second almost the entire game. Cutscenes are told through pre-rendered video sequences, and there's at least one point in the game where you'll experience QuickTime events in a huge, elaborate chase sequence through the entire western city. Red Steel 2 is being prepped for a late March release, and even with my early playthrough, it feels like it'll be one of Wii's top games of the year. For more details on Red Steel 2, head on over to IGN.com.